Well, good afternoon, everybody. I am delighted to be here again for the 2013 State of the City Address. Before I get started, if Adele Nykaza and Mark Gutowski could stand up just for a second. They deserve a big round of applause because they are the powerhouse behind this speech today. And Adele in particular keeps the administration offices humming along. So thank you, Adele. Thank you, Mark. I really appreciate it. I would also like to recognize Roger Green and his staff here at the Hilton Garden Inn. We had another delightful lunch, and we really appreciate your hospitality. They always do such a great job here. I would also like to thank Tim Edgington, who just spoke, from Edward Jones Investment. Tim is a great investor, and we really appreciate his sponsorship. He has sponsored the State of the City for many years, so thank you, Tim. And, of course, I would like to thank the Twinsburg Chamber of Commerce for including the State of the City Address in their schedule of luncheons. You know, this is a great opportunity for me to be able to inform the community about the progress Twinsburg is making in both community and business activities. I would personally like to recognize and welcome the Chamber's new Executive Director, Abby Schroll. Abby's enthusiasm and ideas have brought new energy and momentum to this organization. I think you just saw a good overview of what's going on here. Twinsburg City Council and I are really looking forward to working with Abby and the Executive Chamber Board. One of the first things that we were able to accomplish was to move the Chamber offices back into the Tucker House on Church Street. It's great for them to be located in the heart of Twinsburg and close to all of the activity on Twinsburg Square. Twinsburg City Council has made it their priority to assist in business growth through programs and incentives. Last year, they supported grant opportunities that resulted in over $5 million for new business development. They also adopted tax incentives that assisted the expansion of existing businesses. I would like to introduce the members who are here today. If you would just stand up when I call their names. Ted Yates, Sam Scapidi, Seth Roden, who is our new council president, Maureen Stauffer, Gary Ceresi, and I would also like to recognize two members who are not here, Bill Fury and Bob McDermott. I would also like to recognize Shannon Collins. Shannon is here today. She assists the council with all legislative matters, and she's been in that position since last January. She does a terrific job. Director of Community Planning and Development, Larry Finch. Unfortunately, Larry's not here today. He's usually here, but he has a big meeting this evening with the investors at Cornerstone Business Park, so he's not available. But he's responsible for business retention efforts, tax incentive programs, and the promotion of the city to businesses and industries. This year, Larry and his planning assistant, Lynn Muter, began the process of updating the city's comprehensive plan, a document that provides for the foundation of public purpose. Every 5 years, a committee is appointed to review the goals and objectives in that plan. These goals and objectives are relative to land, business, and industrial uses, parks and open spaces, city services, transportation, environmental quality, and historical review. We really take a really good look at every part of our city and make future recommendations. This year, the committee is especially focused on the redevelopment and revitalization of the Twinsburg Square area. They are developing a destination plan that will promote new business and enhance our community's image. They will make legislative and policy recommendations that will be considered by the Planning Commission and City Council. In his other role as Director of Economic Development, Larry Finch's main duty is business retention and attraction. Last year, more than 245 jobs were created in the city of Twinsburg, and 50 jobs were retained. There was 214,000 square feet of new building, new construction, and over 20,000 square feet of remodeled building space. 71 projects that involved additions to businesses had a construction value of over $10.6 million. Larry assists business owners with everything from dealing with codes and incentives to working with state and county agencies. Obviously, here in Twinsburg, our motto is where preparation meets opportunity, and we believe that the path to a prosperous future begins and grows in Twinsburg. This slide highlights many of the city's new companies, such as Leander Corporation, Print Management Partners, and F.D. Johnson. Those are just a few of all of the new business we are welcoming here. We also had some great business expansions. Vistar, now located at Cornerstone Business Park, G&D Cartech, and AssuraMed, formerly known as Edge Park Surgical. Prosperity also begins with strategic investment in infrastructure. Last year, the team effort between the City of Twinsburg and the owners of Cornerstone Business Park, known as Twinsburg Industrial Properties, resulted in over $5 million for redevelopment of the 167-acre site, formerly known as the Chrysler site. Again, this is the grant money that we all work towards with council support to be able to obtain to assist in the redevelopment of this property. Our efforts resulted in over $5 million in Clean Ohio Revitalization Fund money. From the Job Ready Sites funding, we received $2.2 million, and 629 roadway money, $150,000. Preparing this site for future investment is going to be able to display the great marketing potential that it has. With all the new businesses in town, new restaurants were sure to follow. I am excited to welcome several new restaurants here in town: Bika's, Panera Bread, Rush Hour 2, and Panera's, which just recently opened at Town Center. This is a photo of us at the grand opening ribbon-cutting ceremony, and we were delighted to be invited and to join in their celebration. One of the area's great independent restaurants is Blue Canyon Kitchen and Tavern. Last year, they were a 2012 Silver Spoon Award winner in 12 different categories. Among others, they were recognized for Best View. They look out to the east over Liberty Park. They were also recognized for Best Appetizers and Best Brunch. Congratulations to Bob and Val Belker and Senior Operation Manager Paul Berenstetter. Every year, the Chamber selects an Outstanding Business Person of the Year. Rob Felber of Felber Marketing received this honor at the December Chamber Luncheon. Rob is a roll-up-your-sleeves kind of guy who is always willing to volunteer, and he has volunteered in everything from Relay to Life, the Chamber of Commerce, and the Twins organization. He also runs a great marketing firm. Congratulations, Rob. I know personally that is very well deserved. The Kent State University Regional Academic Center opened its doors in August with an enrollment of over 1,000 students for the fall semester. And I see Scott Swan back there smiling. He's the director over there. Scott, John Granny, great job. The official opening took place on September 12th. Kent State University Dean Lester Lefton, along with many other dignitaries, was on hand to cut the ribbon. This LEED certified building is a real source of pride in our community. They are a leader among colleges in energy efficiency. The Academic Center offers bachelor degrees through advanced degrees that include executive training and nursing programs. As you can see here, the center is equipped with the latest in technology, science labs, and everything you need for nursing education. There is no denying that the force behind the Kent State Regional Academic Center has been Dean David Moen. Besides his accomplishments in Twinsburg, the Dean is known throughout the university system. Last year, he received the Diversity Trailblazer Award for creating a culture of equity and inclusion and providing services that help students succeed. Municipal engineer Amy Moore has done an outstanding job of managing projects and securing funding. She is responsible for design, construction, and inspection of public improvements. That includes over 182 lane miles of roadway. As you can see on this chart, in 1970, the city only had 66 lane miles of roadway. 40% of the infrastructure network has been added in the last 20 years. That also means an equal increase in water lines, sanitary lines, storm sewers. Maintenance of the infrastructure is an ever-increasing burden as the city ages. We really need to keep our roads in at least fair to good condition, and we strive to repair an average of 6% of the roads over a 5-year period. This chart depicts the percentage of the roadway network that the city has been able to resurface and reconstruct in the last 15 years. As you can see, depending on what kind of capital funding we have, some years we get more roads done and some years a little less. Over the last 5 years, we were able to repair or replace 30% of the roads, thereby reaching our benchmark. Road maintenance and reconstruction costs an average of $1.7 million a year. Again, that's just an average. Road reconstruction accounts, though, for 31% of the total road budget. While maintenance such as crack sealing, patching, and resurfacing account for 69% of the budget. So there you can see how that budget is absorbed by maintenance costs. The engineering and service departments have a challenging job of keeping up with the road maintenance program. However, they know that routine maintenance is a priority. It delays expensive road replacements and saves the city money. Last year, the city spent over $3.2 million for road projects, including the Chamberlain Road resurfacing, the I-480 State Route 91 underpass, which I'm sure anybody who travels on Darrow Road knows how much that really needed it, Sunview Drive reconstruction, and the general road program. We have an equally long list for 2013, including the realignment of the Darrow Creekside intersection. And again, this is a really needed road improvement at Darrow and Creekside. Kent State University is located on Creekside. We have a lot more traffic there, and we want to make sure that we install some turning lanes and that we can handle it. Amy Moore spent her time obtaining an ODOT grant for that project, and she was able to secure $500,000 of funding just for the Darrow Road Creekside intersection improvement project. Thank you, Amy. Grants are a vital component of a robust capital improvement program. Last year, the capital budget was supported by over $1 million in grants. We received over $39,000 in energy rebates for energy-efficient upgrades and retrofits. And we secured over $615,000 in interest-free loans for road improvements. Karen House has been the city's finance director since August of 2008. She has done an outstanding job in achieving a lineup of clean audits. She works with city departments to ensure that the city remains fiscally responsible and operates within its budget. The city's main revenue source is city income tax, which is currently at 2.25%. Last year, the city collected $23.1 million of city income tax revenue, which supported 86% of our general fund. So the bulk of the income tax revenue that we receive goes right towards operations in our general fund. Our income tax collection increased in 2012 by 16%. You may recall that the 0.25% income tax was implemented to replace the loss of the income tax revenue when Chrysler closed. Next November, City Council will be submitting a ballot issue to remove the 0.25% of income tax, which provided, again, this past year, over $3.2 million of additional revenue. Without the 0.25% income tax, the city revenue from income tax would have been at $19.9 million. So it really has been a great benefit to everybody in our community, and especially to the operations at City Hall. This is a chart of income tax collection 2003 through 2012. And as you can see, it was pretty static there for quite a few years. But over the last 3 years, due to the extra income tax collection, we have had a steady increase in our collections. City income tax revenues come in from all various different sources, and that would be the bulk of it coming from withholding. This pie chart, did we skip the pie chart here? I'm sorry. The bulk of it, 64%, is from withholding, and the other 36% comes from businesses and individuals. While the income tax provides most of our revenue, the city also receives fees for services, property taxes, money from the local government fund, and state taxes such as the gasoline tax. Combined, our revenue from all sources, income tax and the ones I just mentioned, the city realized $26.9 million in revenue last year. Last year we spent $6.8 million less than our total revenue collected, which means we came in 7% under our $21.2 million budget. We are very proud of our record of coming in under budget. It really is a team effort. All employees work to cut expenses and to find cost-saving measures. Great job. Really appreciate our employees in the city. They work very hard to make that happen. Thank you, Carol. The city truly is a service industry. 65% of the general fund budget is allocated for personnel. We have a lot of employees in the city of Twinsburg. Public safety accounts for most of our personnel expenses. $7.3 million for public safety personnel. Public Works, $3.9 million. The administration, $2.1 million. Health care benefits and workers' comp, $2 million. Recreation, $1.4 million, and our debt service is $1 million. This is the historical record of the city's general fund beginning balances over the last 12 years. As you can see, in 2002, our beginning balance was $2.3 million. 2013, we opened the year at $21.8 million. This is quite an accomplishment considering the challenges that we have faced from the closing of Chrysler to the declining revenue streams such as the interest on city investments. And this chart shows the loss of income in city investments, not a loss, but the declining revenue on the return on city investments just over the last 6 years. 6 years ago, we brought in $1.2 million in interest. And last year, with more money to invest, we only brought in $31,000. That's really a sad state of affairs. But you have to remember, the city is restricted to what kind of investments we can make. There are only a few things that we can invest in compared to all of the different products that the general public has that they can invest in. So our hands are a little bit tied there. But again, it's a real hit for us in that declining revenue stream. Also, we have worked to replace the loss of revenue from state and local government funding. As you can see here, state assistance is down 44%, and local government funding is down 43%. That comes up to just about $500,000 for us in a loss from state and county assistance. Human Resource Director Clay Morris is responsible for hiring, training, benefits coordination, employee issues, and agency reporting. He also negotiates union contracts with the city employees who belong to 4 different unions and 8 separate bargaining units. Of the city's 165 full-time employees, only 28 are non-bargaining employees. Beside the 165 full-time workers that we employ, we also have 89 part-time workers, and we hire approximately 105 seasonal workers. Obviously, the seasonal workers are lifeguards and camp counselors and park maintenance people, people who work at the golf course. But that brings us up to a total of approximately 359 employees over the course of a year. That's a lot of hiring and a lot of processing and a lot of training. Last year, Clay was nominated for the Cranes Archer Award for Human Resource Executive of the Year. That was quite a prestigious nomination. He also attained his IPMA-CP credential. Those are a lot of letters there, from the International Public Management Association for Human Resources. Congratulations, Clay, on these very significant achievements. Angel Keith assists both Clay in the HR department and David Maestros in the law department. Her duties range from assisting with employee forms to court dockets. Great job. Thank you, Angel. Chief Chris Noga heads up the Twinsburg Police Department. The department welcomed several new employees this past year. Officers Dan Sellis and Jim Swope, and a new dispatcher, Miriam Stubbs. I am sure that Miriam answered her share of calls of the more than 36,000 that was received by the center last year. There are 2 new sergeants in the department. These are promotions. Tom Mason was sworn in on January 10th, and Tom Austin was sworn in a few months ago on December 12th. Congratulations to both Toms on their promotions. I know that both of them have great leadership abilities. I've worked with them, and I know that their teams are really enjoying working with them also. Several retirements took place in the department. Officer Chuck Clapper, Sergeant Mark Elio, Sergeant Jim Toback. All of these gentlemen will be enjoying new opportunities outside of the department. We certainly wish them well in all of their future endeavors. Last year was the first time that Twinsburg participated in the Officer Phil program. This is a safety program for children that we run in the school system for children in grades K through 3rd. It highlights education and safety through magic and ventriloquism. This program was funded entirely by local business advertising. So I know many of you out there participated in it. Thank you so much. Without your help, we wouldn't be able to have this very important safety program for the youngsters in the school system. In July, German police officer Thorsten Schwedke and his wife Tanya and daughters Jody and Zoe visited Twinsburg. They're seen here in this photo with Chief Noga, his wife Beth, and daughter Jennifer and son Michael. And this was a really exciting visit that they made to the city of Twinsburg. Now you're probably wondering why we were so excited to meet Officer Schwedke. Well, we have a special relationship with him, as he has brought international recognition to us. This is a Dodge Charger that was formerly owned by the Twinsburg Police Department. He has restored it, and he now displays it throughout Europe, through European countries. So we think that's a really cool thing, and we were just delighted to meet him and his family. Fire Chief Rick Racine and his department had a very busy and productive year. They responded to over 2,200 calls for service. Last November, the department's new rescue squad was delivered. These are pretty pricey pieces of equipment. This one was over $201,000. It took a 2-year process in order to design and to purchase this vehicle. It was headed up by an in-house committee, which members included fire medics Kettner, Sorm, Bernardo, and Rott, and Lieutenant John Dunn. This unit replaces a 2002 med unit. The Fire Prevention Bureau is a division of the fire department that rarely receives recognition. The members of this department are Lynn Racine and Dan Wagner, and I'm sure many of you have probably met them through business inspections. Last year, they conducted over 1,300 building inspections. They work with local businesses to implement safety measures. The department also teaches fire safety education to more than 2,300 students. That's a lot of safety education going on in grades K through 6. Again, this is Lynn Racine teaching one of the classes. You know, obviously, firefighters don't just put out fires. They provide education to prevent fires. They are involved in helping everyone from children to our seniors. Lynn Racine again, this is a program that she initiated here in the city of Twinsburg, another innovative program called In-Home Fall Prevention. And she will meet with you in your houses and do an analysis to see if there's any kind of trip hazards and to advise you on how to stay safe in your homes. On October 10th, the Twinsburg Fire Department dedicated the Fire Department Bell, which they are very proud of, and the Memorial Walkway. The Memorial Walkway recognizes our present members and commemorates our past members. It's a great way to give recognition to our department. If anybody is interested in purchasing a brick for the Memorial Walkway, please let us know and we'll be happy to make that happen. Public Works Director Chris Campbell, seen here lounging in my conference room chair again. No. He's usually, Chris, you're blushing a little. He's usually busy running the service division and the wastewater treatment plant. Last year, the service department implemented a salt brine application program. It is no longer just the typical push the snow with the plow kind of routine out there on the roads. There are new methods and technology that are being used in snow and ice control. We are experimenting with anti-icing processes. We mix brine with salt, and the brine helps the salt stick to the road surface. It is also a quicker way to activate the salt to help melt the snow and the ice faster. This anti-icing process is accomplished by using a 1,000-gallon tank, that's that big white tank on the back of that truck, to apply the salt brine to the road surfaces prior to the snow and ice events. The brine application prevents the ice from creating a bond on the road surface, thereby attacking icy conditions before the snow even begins to fall. This next photo looks like just a great big old box, and it's not real exciting or maybe not even too impressive, but it's amazing what it does. The wastewater treatment plant's microturbine unit was commissioned into full service on November 15, 2012, and that is the microturbine. It is a combined heat and power unit. The methane gas that is produced by the waste products at the plant is processed through the turbine to produce electricity. That is directly returned to the electric grid. So the electricity that's produced through the turbine is returned to the grid, and it creates a cost savings in the amount of electricity that we need to operate the plant. The plant's waste gas is now a valuable commodity. And I think John Adams is saying I probably dummied down that process a little bit, but it's pretty complicated, so you'll have to excuse me for that. In December, the unit produced a total of over 43,000 kilowatts of electricity that equaled approximately $3,500 in savings. The natural gas savings was approximately $950. Combined, it is estimated we will realize a yearly cost savings in utility costs of over $50,000. And why we're really proud of that is this whole unit only cost the city about $20,000, as we were able to get a grant for over $950,000 to implement it. So nice job at the plant, Chris, John. We really appreciate all the work that it took to get this thing up and running, and we know it did. Thank you. Parks and Recreation Director Derek Schroeder runs a department that leads the way in fun and fitness. The Rock the Park concert series brought 7 amazing concerts to the Parisi Amphitheater. The season ended in September with a great performance by the Michael Stanley Band. We were just delighted to have Michael Stanley here in our city last year. More than 4,500 concert goers rocked the park last summer. The concert series also introduced the Verb Ballet, which is a contemporary dance company, to the city of Twinsburg. They had an evening performance. They performed a program called Night Moves. It was really exceptionally delightful. I would like to thank all of the sponsors who make these events possible, especially Bruce Strachan of Strachan Casale, Inc., representing Grange Insurance. Bruce Strachan has been one of the biggest supporters ever of this program and continues to be. And without Bruce, these programs would not go forward. So Bruce, really thank you. And thank you to all of the other contributors and sponsors. Again, it makes Twinsburg a real special place to be. The arts are an ever-increasing important part of the city's recreation program. Peter Pan was the 2012 community theater production under the direction of Sean Natali and Jim Volkert. Over 100 cast and crew members made this an outstanding production. And in case you're wondering, those are actual photos from that production. I mean, we do a really great job. We have a cast member from the latest theater production in the audience. Terry, thank you. Thank you for being here. You know, we do a lot in parks and recreation, and we have a lot of good things going on indoors. But we also have a really premier natural area. As you know, the city has over 2,000 acres of open space. Excuse me. Our biggest park is Liberty Park. The city purchased 900 acres, and Metro Parks has now purchased approximately another 1,200 acres. So Liberty Park itself is over a 2,000-acre park. It has ledges, it has caves, it's an amazing place. And last year, you probably heard the news, we had lots of commotion going on at the park. First it was the bear, or maybe the bears. They meandered into Town Square. And after that, they meandered into some surrounding communities. So you probably saw news reports about the bears. We haven't heard from them for a while, though, so we're kind of relieved. And the other news was about the bats. Unfortunately, and this really is sad. This is a very sad thing. The bats contracted white nose fungus, and it really cuts the entire bat population of being wiped out. And we have thousands of bats at Liberty Park. So Metro Park serving Summit County had to put up bat gates. Kind of looks like a ladder going up there, but it blocks the entrances to the caves so that visitors cannot go in and out of the caves and potentially spread the fungus that kills the bats. And although we would love to invite you all in to see those wonderful caves, for the time being, we need to keep them restricted. The latest news, however, is that we have sighted a peregrine falcon, and that's an actual photo from the park of a peregrine falcon in flight. The other one is just a close-up so you can see what that bird looks like. We have already documented eagle nests, but this is the first sighting of a peregrine falcon. A few years ago, the city of Twinsburg, Liberty Park in particular, was recognized as an IBA. That's an important bird area. We are one of the few locations in the entire state of Ohio that has an IBA designation. So again, Liberty Park is very important to all of us. Twinsburg and our partner, Metro Park serving Summit County, have a mission to preserve not just wildlife, but natural areas. The Pond Brook restoration has been a very successful project. It has resulted in the restoration of over 12,000 linear feet of stream bank. This has improved water quality and wetland areas in that entire region. And I have to thank Metro Parks for undertaking this enormously big project, and many of the surrounding communities, Aurora, Twinsburg Township, Reminderville, of course the city of Twinsburg, and the Tinkers Creek Watershed Partners for getting involved in this project. If you had seen how degraded this area was before they restored it to that, it's an amazing, amazing project, so congratulations to all of them. The Fitness Center continues to be a valuable community gathering place for health and wellness. Besides regular fitness activities, the center has hosted prime wrestling events, tournaments, and swim meets. And on rainy days, snowy days, summer days, we also have lots of kid activities going on to keep your family busy. The aquatics program, under the direction of Brandon Burns, continues to increase in participation and is a revenue source for fitness center operations. Brandon was kind enough to put together this chart here that shows the increase in both revenue and participation at both the aquatics facilities, the indoor facility and the outdoor facility. Great job, Brandon. Thank you very much. GLENEAGLES Golf Course has maintained its 4.5-star rating from Golf Digest. Last year, 32,000 rounds were played on that course, and greenskeeper Jim Roberts keeps the course in tip-top shape. Clubhouse manager Brian Menard, sitting there with a golf club in his hand, which I know he enjoys more than anything else, keeps leagues and players coming back to enjoy the course and the outstanding services that the staff provide. GLENEAGLES is hosting this year's Twinsburg Chamber of Commerce golf outing on Friday, June 14th. So if you haven't marked your calendar for that outing yet, now's the time to do it. Speaking of great places to go, try the Twinsburg Library. The library completed a $170,000 renovation designed by Tom Rabani. The circulation area is now an up-to-date, easy-to-navigate, welcoming area with 2 self-checkouts and a self-pay machine. The renovation also increased the amount of square footage available for staff and volunteers to handle the $1.2 million, or 2 million items that circulate through the library each year. The Twinsburg Public Library was also named a 4-star library by Library Journal. Thank you, Laura, for your hard work. And longtime fiscal officer Eileen Holloway retired, and Allison Chance joined the team as a new fiscal officer. And I'm pretty sure Allison's here today, so thank you, Allison. Great to have you on board. The Twinsburg School District, under the direction of Superintendent Kathy Powers, who is with us today, hi Kathy, and Assistant Superintendent Mike Lenzo, was rated as an excellent district in 2012. Over 4,200 students are receiving a top-notch education at our Twinsburg Public Schools. The Lady Tigers basketball team became state champs for the 2nd time, twice in a row. We're hoping that this year they make 3 times in a row. I was able to see their final game of the season last night, and they have a record, I believe, of 25-0. So they're going to be tough to beat downstate, and we're hoping again that they bring home the championship. Our city's music ambassadors, the Great Expectations Show Choir, performed their way to Best Costumes, Best Show Concept, and even a Grand Championship. Congratulations to all of them. Great people and great organizations add up to a great city. And we are fortunate to have some great state and federal legislators. Christina Roebner was elected in November as our state representative in District 37. Senator Frank LaRose. Frank is with us today. Frank, you want to stay? Give everybody a hi there. And he is our District 27 representative. He frequently meets with his constituents at the Twinsburg Government Center, and I know that they appreciate being able to talk to you directly and have that face-to-face communication with you. Thank you. At the federal level, Congressman David Joyce was elected this past November to represent the 14th Congressional District. Congressman Joyce replaced outgoing Congressman Steve LaTourette, who was supportive of many local issues, from funding the Interconnect Road, obtaining grants, and dealing with issues from the closing of Chrysler. I have no doubt, I've met with Congressman Joyce, that he will follow in those footsteps. And I would like to recognize, we have with us today the District Director, who is located at Twinsburg City Hall, Nick Ciafani, for Congressman Joyce. Thank you very much. And Nick was also with Congressman LaTourette. Thank you very much. I hope that you will join us this year for many of the community events that are uniquely Twinsburg, including this year, the 37th Twins Day Festival. It will take place in August. We are only 5 months and 19 days away from that event. They have a brand new website with great information. If you want to know anything about Twins Day, try their new site. We also have many other unique events in Twinsburg that I hope you can join us for. Our Memorial Day Parade, which is a tremendous event. It is on May 27th, the Relay for Life, June 7th and 8th. And as Beth Noga said, don't forget to pick up the materials on the back table if you're interested. Rock the Park concerts. The first one starts on June 14th, and I'll tell you a secret, on June 28th, we're going to have a big country night with 4 different acts. So hope you can make that. The Josh McTerrian Golf Outing on July 19th. Again, Twins Day in August, and our Safety Forces Open House on October 9th. Before I close, I would like to introduce a very special guest and an outstanding catcher for the U11 Tigers traveling baseball team, Joe Procop. And Joey was sitting right here in the front seat. Maybe we can find him. Come on. Oh, wow. Well, that's a surprise. Wow, Joey, thanks.
Stay here, Joe.
Well, that was a surprise. Brought cheers tonight. Thank you, Joey. That's our oldest grandson. He's just a delightful kid. He's the oldest of our 7 grandchildren, including Julia, Lucy, Harper, Finley, and our newest arrivals on the bottom there, Claire Elizabeth and Everett James. Of all the different hats that Jean and I wear, I know, without a doubt, that Grandma and Grandpa is absolutely our favorite. And thank you, Jean. Wonderful father and grandpa. I would like to leave you with my quote of the year. I still find each day too short for all the thoughts I want to think, all the walks I want to take, all the books I want to read, and all the friends I want to see. Thank you again for attending the 2013 State of the City Address, and happy Valentine's Day to all of you. Thank you.